Is there anything you want to say to me now you didn't during the experiment?
Nah, no.
Hold on, Thomas is there. Thomas is there. There's another girl, and then there's the girl that was fucking drunk out of her mind.
And you've got your arm around her.
Then we had to.
This was a train wreck, and I'm disappointed that we didn't really get to hear anything from Terence and Portia. But I think Terence didn't want to be messy, and he knew that had they opened the door, Portia would have gone off, and I think he didn't want that for himself. And the fact that we're still trying to rewrite history with Ella. Why? Why are we trying to make it seem like she's changed? She's this amazing person when she's still talking about sex. She's still behaving inappropriately with someone she's broken up with. Make it make sense. And Jordan. If you want to hear my apology for Jordan, wait till the end. Anyway, hi there. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to my channel. It's Valerie. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. We're still on our way to 1,000 subs. We're nearly there. Click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight UK, Season 8, Episode 35. So we start off by catching up with the couples. Paul and Tasha say they're still together, they're happily married, and things seem to be going amazing for them. Peggy tries to sort of tease like things didn't work out, but anyway, she's still with George. I said it, and I'm happy to say it again. I feel like the home visit is the only reason why she stayed with George, because she realized they had a comfortable lifestyle, and so she was happy, to forgo everything else because of the comfortable lifestyle that came with George. Matt and Adrian are a bit vague in regards, are they still together? Are they not together? I want to see what happens at the dinner party. And also, Jordan and Erica, apparently Mr. Perfect, it appears to have cheated or appears to have had sort of an indecent moment with someone. So it will be interesting to hear, because Erica is hoping to sit the guys down and find out exactly what happened. I'm here for it. I also want to know what's happened. So we have the love triangle. That's Bianca, Ella, and Jordan. And it's like, why do we even need to discuss it? Why is it even a thing? Personally, I don't feel Ella should be telling us about her feelings, irregardless. I know she had this, short-lived romance with JJ, but still, how it came to be, I don't think it's a good look for her to sort of be bragging that I get all giddy every time somebody mentions Jordan. This is not the time, neither is it the space. I think she just needs to get there, show that she's grown as a person, behave in an according manner that she wants people to view her, or would want people to view her growth. And that's it, and keep it moving. We don't need to hear anything about her relationship with Jordan. That way Bianca can come in, greet everyone, have a great time, and off she goes. I know her marriage was short-lived. I think it was a week or two, but still the pain is there in the sense that this man wasted her time. She prepared herself for marriage only for him to turn around and say, well, not really. I prefer somebody else. So obviously people arrive for the dinner party. And for me, question to everyone, I thought the reunion was similar to the reunion for the US version, whereby you actually have a host that sort of asks the questions. Apparently this dinner party is the reunion. I didn't know that. Anyway, first up is George and Peggy. Obviously they're still on this pretend we're happy, we're the strongest couple ever in this experiment. We did amazing. We're both happy. We're in love. And it's like, okay, if that's what makes you happy, do you? Next up is Laura. She's on her own, obviously, and she says she's found herself. She's found, Arthur made her silence herself. And it's like, Arthur didn't silence you. The other participants criticized you and you silenced yourself. Be honest. Don't pretend. Then we have Roz turn up on her own. Obviously, she and Thomas split up. Apparently, they're still friends. They still chat, and Roz is happy that she made the right decision, even though it was painful. And it's like, well, I think that man would have made you an amazing husband, but hey, to each their own. And then Tasha and Paul arrive. They are happy. They're in love. Tasha's told Paul that she loves him. She seems more settled and she seems more happy. I hope she's done the work, or I hope she started doing the work to make sure that, she doesn't ruin this marriage for herself by her being so vocal or very confrontational. I don't know what happens with her, but she would know better. And then we have Jay. She arrived on her own, and everybody was taken aback because when she left the experiment, she had to live with Luke because Luke was kicked out, and she couldn't stay on her own. So her coming back is a bit strange. Even the experts was shocked that she actually came on her own. Everybody was expecting her to come with Luke. So Jay explains that apparently it seems like Luke is the one who broke things off, and he just said he didn't see that there was anything there for them to work on, and it's like, seriously, were you ever serious about her, or did something happen, or did you meet somebody else when you got home? Make it make sense because of the way he started criticizing her when they were just before they were kicked off the show. So I I don't know because he still had a post. I think the last time I checked on his Instagram of the two of them. So I don't know how we went from that to him suddenly saying he doesn't want anything to do with her. But hey, you can't force someone to love someone if they don't. Um, and then you have the guys come in. You have Tom and Arthur. Arthur is a jackass. I'm sorry. Because I think he was being sarcastic in how he was dressed. I think he wanted to see what Laura would say because obviously Laura's friend said he wasn't sort of the class that she was accustomed to, or he didn't meet the standards that she had previously set for herself. So I think he came dressed the way he was dressed just to get a reaction from her. And she said, oh, I think he just came from the gym, and how is it you're coming to meet your ex-wife dressed like that? And it's like he doesn't need to impress you, really, if we're being honest. You're his ex for a reason. It didn't work out, and he's ready to move on. So it is what it is. Keep it moving. So I wasn't surprised with how he was dressed. I thought he was just being him. Shauna came in. She came on her own, and she is saying that she wants an explanation, or she wants to tell Brad how she feels because he told her after 5 weeks of dating that he didn't love her. And it's like, we could have told you that. You didn't need to wait 5 weeks to hear that. We could have told you he doesn't love you because of the way he treated you. So for you to be shocked that he suddenly told you he doesn't love you, that's that's naive of you, really, if we're being honest. And the peanut gallery, you had Tasha, Ross, and Jay just sitting there and just listening to her and just nodding their heads because they knew that she was, you know, in this relationship that was very toxic, that everybody could see was toxic. And people tried to warn her, but she didn't seem like she was ready to receive any feedback. And she kept running back to Brad and telling him everything the girls were saying. So, hey, to each their own. So, next up is Bianca and Mark. Well, Bianca and Mark were both left the experiment because their partners didn't feel like there was anything there in their relationship for them to work on. So them walking in was like the jilted wives walking in, and it's sad, but hey, it is what it is. They were. I feel sorry for Bianca more than I feel sorry for Mark. Mark wanted someone who would pamper him and wait on him hand and foot and make him feel special. And he didn't do anything to nurture his relationship. And so this is why they are where they are. I'm not surprised that, they broke up. I said it before that Sean was going to be worn out by the end of this. And it happened sooner rather than later. So hey, it is what it is. Then you have Ella Swan in. I don't even know why. I don't know why they made her have this grand entrance. So she walked in on her own, and Bianca was taken aback because she didn't realize that she would be walking in on her own. And so that was surprising news. And for Ella to sit down with Bianca and say, I want to apologize for my behavior, blah, blah, blah. She is trying to revamp her character. Why didn't she write a letter or contact Bianca off camera? She needed to wait until they were on camera for her to apologize. Why didn't she say, following on to my apology that I sent you, if she really was apologetic? She's not. For the experts to say she's taking responsibility for her actions, she is not. She is not. She's doing it for camera time. She's doing it to revamp her character, and that's it. And I'm going to stick by it. It's not a genuine apology, in my opinion. I know I can't tell, but the fact that it had to be on camera is what I'm saying. She should have written a letter to Bianca. She should have sent her flowers to apologize. And then when she saw her at the reunion, she should have said, I know I sent you flowers. I know I sent you a letter, but I want to say this in person. I want to sincerely apologize for how things went down between the two of us. That's someone who's genuine, not what she did. Then we have Andrea walking on her own. Am I surprised? No. I said it that that relationship was going to struggle because of the fact that there were some things that they needed to work on, and sadly, they decided to brush them under the rug and just keep it moving. For Andre to say, the straw that broke the camel's back was the fact that Matt didn't respond to her all day. That doesn't make sense to me. What if he had a personal emergency? What if he had something he was dealing with? Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense to me, and I'm going to stick by that. So there should be more to this equation. I have a feeling there was more to that because when Matt walks in, he says he wants to know whether she really was in love with him or whether it was. I think he's more or less just hinting that it might have been an act and she didn't really feel for him the way she made it seem like she felt for him. And it's like, wow, okay. So you have Thomas pull Paul for a chat, and he's sort of asking him what happened in regards Jordan and the girls, and he's asking which one was it? Was it the blonde one or the brunette one? Turns out Jordan was a naughty boy, and he kissed one of the girls. And Paul is like, well, if I'm asked, I'm going to speak my truth, just because this was going on for a while. It's not just the kiss. There was, actions that led up to the kiss, and the girls actually kissed Jordan, and I was like, what the hell? What's going on here? And it's like, well, Jordan is in trouble, isn't he? And he and Erica were in everybody else's business. And for Paul to say, if I'm asked, I'm going to speak the truth because I don't lie. And it's like, oh my God, this is going to be messy. Next up is Brad. He arrives on his own and, he says to Shauna, you okay? As usual. And then he moves on. So Ross asked him, what happened between you and Shauna? I thought you were working on your relationship. We thought you said you were falling in love. And he said, well, I had feelings for her, but it wasn't love. I was sexually attracted to her. And I was hoping to work and see if we could develop something, but nothing could come of it because I really didn't have any sort of emotional feelings towards her. It was just sexual attraction. And it's like, that's bad. That's really bad. Next up is Sean. And the way everybody's sort of running to someone and say, are you okay? As soon as their ex walks in, it's like, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think they're going to attack them or something? Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. I think the conversation between Ross and Thomas needed to be had. Obviously, Ross is sort of asking, how's your mom? And Thomas was honest. Your mother is going to feel some type of way about their child being upset or being heartbroken. So I get where Thomas is saying, I had to defend you because his mother felt some type of way about the way Ross treated her son, and she's entitled to that opinion, regardless of whether it was right or wrong. She's his mother, so she will be protective over her son. And I like the fact that you're saying, I don't respond to your times because I'm trying to move on. Yes, otherwise he's always going to have hope that she's going to come back and say, let's work on it. So I give him credit for wanting to move on. You then have, Matt and Adrian sit down for a chat. And Matt wants to know, did you have any feelings for me, or was it just, an act? Because you went on and on about how I was very rigid, I wasn't very bubbly or outgoing. Were you serious about me, or were you just trying to see if you could push this wagon up a hill? And it's like, oh, this is bad. And for Adrian to become defensive, I don't get it. I really don't get it. She knows what she said about this man. So this man is entitled to feel how he feels, and she just has to deal with it. And then you have Jordan and Erica arrive, and everybody is nervous because they know there's the elephant in the room. And Erica's quick to sort of say, can I speak to you guys? And it's like, oh, it's about to go down. It's sad watching Arthur, Thomas, and Paul trying to squirm out of Erica's, warpath because she wants to know what happened. And the sad bit is, as Paul said, I can't lie, I don't lie. So he had to own up and tell his truth. And I think Arthur saw part of it, Thomas saw part of it, but then Paul must have been around most of the time, so he saw everything. And he's trying to be a guy's guy, but he also can't lie when something bad happened. And so in the end, Erica calls Jordan, and the four of them are squashed into this little city, and they're trying to explain what's happened. And it's like a comedy show. I don't know why Jordan just didn't own up to his problem, as Paul the expert said. He should have just said to her, I am sorry, I was flirting with this girl, and in my flirting, I gave her the wrong impression, and she tried to kiss me, but I said no. Erica would have understood that. But the fact that he kept trying to sort of hide behind, oh, I didn't do this. Why are we saying, discussing this? We should be discussing all the good things that I do for you. And it's like, you can't do good for me and then turn around and do something bad and say to me, oh, don't worry about the bad stuff that I've done, just focus on the good stuff that I'm doing. That's unacceptable. He has to own up to his mess. He messed around and he found out, and now he has to, to sit at the table like the adults and take responsibility. And then you have Luke walk in. He walked in with JJ. Luke is mad. Luke is crazy, and the fact that he didn't even acknowledge, Jordan. He's right not to acknowledge Jordan because Jordan said he felt unsafe with Luke, so he is right not to acknowledge him because he doesn't want to look at him, and then he says he feels threatened, and Luke is on a warpath. He's giving, Jordan a treat of his own medicine because he runs over to sort of tell Arthur and George that Jordan kissed someone and Jordan was making out with someone. And it's like, why would you do that? That's not necessary. Mind your own business and just leave them alone. And it's just messy. It's messy and it's about to explode. Obviously, you then have Luke turned up on his own. Sorry, my bad. And then you have Portia turn up on her own, and it's nice to see her. I loved Portia, messy as she was. I think she'd have been great TV. It's a pity that Terrence, didn't want to hang around and sort of work on things with her. And Terrence arrives with JJ, actually, not Luke, and he refuses to greet Portia, and it's like, that's messy. You don't need to be childish. It didn't work out. That's fine, but be cordial. There's no need for all this mess. So, everybody goes to the dinner table. Please, next season, can they sell tickets just to be a live audience to the dinner party? Because this is the funniest thing ever. It starts off with Ella wanting to be the center of attention and giving this speech. And then you have the experts sort of say, oh, the last time she was stood up was telling everybody about herself and her coming up. No, there was the incident with Nathaniel. There was the incident with Bianca. Let us not try and rewrite history to suit a narrative that we're aiming for. Let us call a spade, please. That's just me. I'm going to be ranting. I am sorry. Then you go to Terrence and Portia. That is reality TV at its finest. The way they are just cold to one another. They are polite, but it's just cold. It's just cold. You can read in between the lines. Like, it's like, leave me alone. And this one is like, leave me alone, but we have to be polite because we're in company. It's just the most hysterical thing. You go from there, you have Laura trying to take jabs at Arthur and Arthur coming back with a good comeback because she's saying, here's to leaving the man at the altar, literally. And he's like, he also made a sarcastic remark, and it's just like, oh my God, this is juicy. I wish I was at home. I would have had popcorn for this. This is amazing. And it's just one thing after another. You have Jay and you have, Luke having this conversation. Jay, I think, is trying to see if they can work on their relationship. Luke is not here for that. He is done. He is ready to move on. And he's not willing to give her the answers that she needs. And it's just like, oh my God. You have, Matt and Adrian on their corner. They are just being reality TV at its finest. You have Jordan and Erica. Jordan is asking if anyone wants water. Erica is quiet, and then when he puts the water down, she is leaning over for the water. And then you have JJ, Bianca, and Ella situation. This is TV at its finest. I wish I was at home and I could watch it on my big TV. Oh, how could I forget Thomas and Ross talking about the sex toys and asking, Ross asking, what did you do with the sex toys? And Thomas is like, well, I paid for them, so I have them. They're sitting in a drawer in my house. And she's like, are you using them? He went, no. Do you want them? I can sell them to you half price because they're used. And it's like, yeah. I think he should have given them to her as a parting gift, as something to remember him by, not for him to say, I'll sell them to you half price off. And it's like, Thomas is crazy. He doesn't, care anymore. And for Ella to keep, giggly and all huggy and lovey-dovey on JJ, I think she's doing it on purpose. I think part of her wants to spite Bianca, even though she apologized, and this is why I said her apology was not genuine, and I don't know why she's now pretending like she and JJ are so, attracted to one another, and she's, oh, you're very funny, and he went, well, but I didn't say anything. he's fed up with Ella as well. He's fed up with Ella because he then pulls Bianca for a chat. And Bianca is still feeling some type of way. I am right to say that Ella and JJ should have apologized to Bianca and Nathaniel off camera. Nathaniel decided not even to attend. He didn't want anything to do with that mess, so he stayed his butt at home. Bianca came in. They should have apologized to Bianca at home first before coming onto the show. That way she would have been in a position to accept their apology, not for them to pretend like everything should be okay as soon as they say I'm sorry. Yeah, Bianca is milking the fact that, JJ played her. He didn't give her a chance. I guess because she had psyched herself, getting herself ready for marriage, only for things to turn out the way they did. So she is right to be feeling some type of way. I give her credit for that. And then, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You now have Adrian and, Matt just sitting there, just staring at each other. Terrence and Portia are there. They're sitting opposite George and Peggy. And I'm like, somebody tell, Portia that Peggy still hasn't slept with George. Please tell her. Please let her read him for filth because he was very rude and disrespectful. Can someone bring it up? I want Portia to give commentary. I want Portia to make a comment. Come on, please. As though someone heard my cry. Obviously, George and Peggy are asked, George is asked, how do you feel about there not being any sex in your relationship? And he says, I have tried differently in the past and it hasn't worked. So I've decided to try something new. I'm happy to follow your lead and be patient and sort of trust that things will work. And I'm like, can we get everybody else's view? Can Portia speak up? Can she be allowed to say what she feels or what she thinks? Please, I'm asking quietly and humbly. And still, she didn't comment. Well, I don't care what other people think about our marriage. We are doing great. And it's like, yeah, say what you feel you need to say so that, you can hype yourself up. If that makes you feel good about yourself, good for you. But it is what it is. You don't look happy. We can see you don't look happy. So, hey. Ross and Thomas are asked, would you change anything? And they are both not happy with the outcome, but they wouldn't really change anything about, what they went through or how they dealt with the process or how they felt they performed in the process. And I think that's all you can do, really. You can only try your best. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. There's nothing else you can do. I personally don't understand what Adrian and Matt are fighting about. Because Matt is saying he wants closure. He wants the reason why Adrian felt that their marriage wouldn't work and the reasons why she said that was the end. And she sort of stammered and stuttered and is like, if you can't send me a message in the morning and a message before you go to bed, I work 2 jobs and this, that, and the other. And it's like, are you too busy because of your work, or are you worried that even though you're busy, you're still making time to send him messages but he's not responding? I didn't get that, and I don't get why she blew up. I think she was used to saying whatever she wanted to say and him keeping quiet. So the idea that he actually spoke up and was putting pressure, this is why she got pissed off. This is why she stormed off. This is why she slammed the door and was removing the mic. And I think the producers told her, you're not yet done with the show, love. You still need to record until we say cut. This is the end of season 8. And so this is where she was stuck. And so what do I think? I didn't even understand what they were arguing about because it doesn't make sense. She, I think, once she lived with George, developed, this idea of the man that she wanted or whatever conversations she had with George. This is why she was stuck where she was, and she tried to make it work just for the sake of it. And when she realized that it wasn't going to work, or either the fact that maybe he still insisted that we still need to agree on this children bit. Yes, I'm happy for us to wait, but I want children at some point. I feel that could be the reason why she decided to call it quits, but she won't own up to that because then she's worried that she might look like the bad guy. So they've left it at that. For Sean and Mark, well, Sean said he wasn't ready. He was naive when he walked into the process. I think he thought if he could be the best husband he could be to Mark, things would work. And when he realized that Mark was more demanding that he was prepared for, I feel like this is the reason why he called it quits. That's just my opinion. For Ella still hasn't grown. I'm sorry. We're trying to make Ella seem like this person that she's not. She's asked by JJ, and for me, for her to say yes, there's still that spark, there's still that attraction, but at the moment we're not ready. He called her out. She said she got drunk and she called him names. She was, whether it was verbally, emotionally, psychologically abusive, or whatever she was doing when she was intoxicated was the bit that she didn't like. For her to say we still have this spark, we're still attracted to one another. You didn't have sex, so how are you attracted to one another? What, you just kept kissing? Make it make sense. I think they were just playing up. They're just trying to infuriate Bianca, and they'll say anything and everything to agitate her. That's my opinion. Whether she's justified in being agitated, that's something else. But that's what I see Ella and JJ doing. I was flying so high, or I was anticipating it, and then my balloon just went flat, and I'm back to the ground. Next up is Portia and Terrence. Terrence is asked, "Is there anything else you'd want to say to me?" And he says nothing. And it's like, why? I was looking forward to this. It was about to be good. Everybody was anticipating the fireworks, and for Terrence to say that, I'm happy he did that because Portia's already had enough backlash. She doesn't need anything else. But for him to be so dismissive, I feel like is not right. I wish he had asked her, is there anything you would have changed about our relationship since we parted? Is there anything that you feel that, you benefited from our time together, or anything you feel you need to work on since our time together? I think that's what he should have said. As for Shona and Brad was always going to talk about himself. Am I surprised? No, not really. And it's interesting that you went from such an awkward situation with Terrence and Portia to an amazing situation with Paul and Tasha, because Paul is talking about he can't wait for them to move in together. He can't wait to spend most of his time with Tasha because he was so used to living with Tasha, talking to Tasha, going to bed with Tasha, waking up with Tasha. And now, they live apart, obviously, because they haven't sort of relocated to where they're going to live as a wedded couple. And so that was cute, and everybody was excited for them. I was happy for them. With Jay and Look, I think there was a lot of misunderstanding. I think there was poor communication. I think there was hurt feelings. I think, look, when they left, the experiment was going through a lot. And instead of taking time out or asking for the time out from Jay so that he could process what had happened in the experiment with him and Jordan, he decided to sort of combine the two and take out his frustrations on Jay. I think they were a great couple. I think they could have had a future together. I think they could have had a family and they could have gone on to be happy. But it's a pity that because both their feelings were hurt, Jay wants answers and Luke is not willing to give answers, and all he's doing is crying. And I don't know that he's crying because he doesn't want to look like the bad guy, or he's crying because he's really hurt and he doesn't know how to express himself. This is where I am. And then Jordan, oh God, he's reaping what he sowed. He is. The poor boy is reaping what he sowed, because he created a lot of toxicity in a lot of couples' marriages. And now people have decided to just hand him back what he dished out, and he doesn't know how to handle it. And because of his OCD, as I said before, once he's got an idea in his head, that's what he's stuck to. To him, he didn't kiss the girl, that's it. He doesn't understand that the fact that he was holding her, caressing her, or whatever else he was doing, that's still classified in Erica's head as cheating or as disrespect. And instead of him sort of coming up and saying to her, I am so sorry. The reason why I didn't say anything is because I was very worried that I could damage our marriage because of my bad behavior. I know what I did is unacceptable. I know that I've broken your trust, and I would like to sincerely apologize from the bottom of my heart that my intention was not because I had feelings for that girl. It's because of certain things that happened that were sadly things that I could have controlled. And so, if nothing else, I want you to forgive me. I want to, if nothing else, I want to ask for an apology. And I promise you that I will work every day to be the best version of myself so that I can be a better husband for you. I sincerely apologize for breaking your trust. I sincerely apologize for upsetting you and disrespecting you and embarrassing you in front of everybody in the experiment. So I sincerely apologize, and I hope we can move on from this. I love you and I care for you, and I want to work hard to gain your trust. That's just my opinion. I feel that's what he should have said instead of him continuing to defend himself. But anyway, I really loved the episode. I'm sad that we didn't get to hear much from Terrence and Portia. I would really have loved to have heard some more. And I really would have loved for Portia to have a go at George. I just, read him fulfilled. The fact that he's still married and still hasn't had sex. Is it a marriage or is it sort of a contract? Is Peggy sort of trying to string him along so that she can divorce him and get a piece of that, baguette money? Hey, Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 34. Bye, guys.